Statement A gives us the context of these statements. It says, from this theory and from observations of patients is derived a description, a situation called the double bind, in which no matter what a person does, he can't win. Statement B says, schizophrenia, its nature, etiology, and the kind of therapy to use for it remains one of the most puzzling of the mental illnesses. Etiology here means not here. Etiology means of a certain disease, the causes, the causing factor, the causative factor. So we find that this is talking about the basis of schizophrenia, calling it one of the most puzzling of the mental illnesses. C tells us it is hypothesized that a person caught in the double bind may develop and eventually exhibit schizophrenic symptoms. So we find that two of these statements, they are talking about double bind, which seems to be by statement C, which seems to be a reason for or a causative factor of schizophrenia. Statement E tells us the theory of schizophrenia presented here is based on communication analysis and specifically on the theory of logical types. Now, on first glance, it seems as if E is the odd statement. Most of the statements seem connected. E seems to be the odd statement, but actually it is not. It is connected because here we talk about the theory of schizophrenia is based on communications analysis, and specifically on the theory of logical types. So we are talking about the basis of schizophrenia, which connects with the aspect of what may cause schizophrenia. One of these is given by C. It is hypothesized that a person caught in the double bind may develop and eventually exhibit schizophrenic symptoms. We also see the connection between this and statement A, which says, from this theory and from observations of patients is derived a description, a situation called the double bind, in which no matter what the person does, he can't win. So the theory of schizophrenia and the theory of logical types, these, either one of these, we are not sure which one. In all probability, the theory of logical types gives us the description of the double bind. And then we have double bind discussed more in detail in C. We have B, which is a general statement. Now we understand that B in this sequence would probably be the opening because it talks only about schizophrenia. Then we come finally to statement D, which says how and why the double bind may arise in a family situation is based completely in the realm of subjective differences in the mental makeup. Does this connect with statement B, which says the most puzzling of the mental illnesses? No, it doesn't. This is talking about the double bind, while B is talking about schizophrenia. Double bind has been presented quite definitively here. A situation called the double bind. The reference to double bind is in statement E, which is also very specific. Does this connect with statement E? No, because E is talking essentially about schizophrenia and its basis. D is talking about the basis of the double bind. So there are two different things altogether. Now, one could say that yes, schizophrenia has as its basis the double bind, but that still does not justify D. And then we see finally that D also says it is based completely in the realm of subjective differences in the mental makeup. But the rest of the statements, they all have this, in essence, this idea or this suggestion that these things are quite definitive. At least the double bind is quite definitive. It is schizophrenia, which is called the most puzzling of the mental illnesses. And that also doesn't qualify, doesn't evidence calling it subjective. So subjective differences is something which is tonally different as well from the rest of the statements. Thus, we realize that statements A, B, C, and E are connected. Statement D, while very close, is still the most different from the rest of the statements. In a simplification, the rest of the statements, they talk about either schizophrenia or double bind as its basis. D talks about the basis of double bind, which is something we don't have in any of the other statements. Thus, the correct answer is D.